What's the best advice about development anyone ever gave you?
Take it slow, take it steady, but do it smart.
Thinking outside the norm. Always try to do something different than what everybody else has done.
Develop your own ideas and not your clients' ideas.
To imagine and be creative, to think things different, not just think.
You really want to go out and take some risks and do something that's different that no one else has really tried before, because if you're just following in the footsteps of other people, you're not really doing anything new.
Don't try and boil the ocean. The thing you're trying to create has probably been created in some form, and just use that person's library and adapt it to your project. Otherwise, you're going to spin your wheels for forever.
The most important thing is to learn how to learn.
Not to box yourself into one tool or technology.
Have developers live a day in the life of a user.
Don't be afraid to try, and if it's already been done, you can probably do it better.
Make sure you have the semicolon at the end of the line.
Never sweat the small stuff. You'll figure it out eventually.
Code, and keep coding. Practice makes perfect.
Know your value proposition and find a need and fill it.
Try and try again.
Get out of it as soon as possible.
You're still in it.
Have somebody else do it.
Outsource it to Andy Angelos.
Don't do it. I am not a developer, so I am the last person you'd want developing your applications.
Have a business objective of what you're trying to accomplish. Measure it and communicate it both ways, to the developer and back to the business people.
Take classes, then pass it on.
Take a couple months, take a year, whatever it takes. Learn how to code.
Be your own teacher, to always be looking for new languages to program in and to find projects for yourself to do in your spare time.
Practical experience is better than theoretical knowledge, so you should always try to do it instead of just read about it.
You start small, you keep building. Eventually, you're going to find one day you're a programmer, and that's what happened to me.
I think that your code will never be as good as you want it to be, and you're always going to look back and find things that you did wrong. But as long as you're constantly learning, you're going to become a better programmer throughout the years. So.
Just that it's easy. I mean, I think my mom always told me math was easy and that I'd be good at it, and I believed her when I was young enough to believe her.
Build something simple that makes someone really happy with it, and then you can find a business from there.
Get it out early and iterate frequently.
Write some unit tests. Unit tests are pretty key, so be sure that if you're going to do anything big, always write some tests. Also, try to leverage as many open source libraries as you can. It really cuts down on development time.
I guess the best advice I ever got was to code as little as possible. So just figure out exactly what you want before you start writing code, and that saved me a lot of extra work.
Believe in yourself. Trust your heart.
Really? Somebody said that?
I'm sure somebody did sometime.
To write code like my mother could read it.
Write code like your mother? How could you write code that your mother could read?
Code is meant to be written like well-written prose, so that anyone can pick it up and understand your intent. So if my mother cannot understand what I'm trying to do with a piece of code, I know that any other developer can pick it up, improve on it, and maintain it.
Your mom's an amazing developer, isn't she? What's the best advice anybody gave you about development?
That my body would change, and that my voice would change, and that stuff would happen.